Around the same time and in the same places, another dog named kliver became famous for its speed. Some claim that she was not a dog, but a fox. But no, she was a dog that hunts foxes. They are now called fox terriers. This fox terrier belonged to a miller named Larkin Snow, who lived in much the same area as Uncle Davy Lane, though they were never known to have met. Larkin was a big fan of fox hunting. The barking of the dogs chasing the fox was the sweetest music to his ears. Of all the dogs, the kliver was the fastest and most stubborn. Larkin was very proud of him, and when one day the hunters boasted of their dogs, he spoke of the special virtues of his. "Bring your dogs and I'll put my kliver against any of them," Larkin said. He whistled to his terrier and showed it to the hunters. But they just burst out laughing, because, to be honest, kliver was quite unprepossessing. Strong but undersized and slightly cross-eyed, although, however, this shortcoming could be considered an advantage, because the dog could, therefore, look at the same time in different directions. Owners of spoiled, well-fed, not cross-eyed dogs did not hesitate to make a bet with Larkin. The next morning they brought their groomed dogs, and at dawn they set out with Larkin and his kliver. The sun had just risen when a pack of 50 dogs on the western slope of Rock Camp picked up the red fox's trail. The fox ran away, and all the dogs, including the kliver, rushed after her with loud barks that deafened exactly a dozen organs. The fox rushed to the top of the saddle, then rounded Scott Knob, rushed to the Cedar Ridge, swam across the Fisher River and rounded Sugar Loaf, then dashed back to Rock Camp, where Larkin and other hunters were just waiting for the moment to take it. Hot on the heels of the fox was the kliver, a good half-mile ahead of the rest of the dogs, who were completely exhausted. On the way, the fox found a meadow, and in the middle of it lay a scythe. Some farmer forgot it there when he went to cut wood. The scythe lay with the blade up, and the cleaver did not notice it. Either he was let down by slanting eyes that looked in the wrong place, or he was too carried away by the chase. In a word, he did not notice the scythe and directly jumped on her, so much so that she cut him along from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail exactly in half. Larkin ran as fast as he could to where the jib had fallen. The dog didn't even whine. Larkin quickly grabbed both halves and put them together. Only from excitement I mixed it up, and on the left the paws turned up, and on the right, down. But kliver immediately jumped to his feet, as if nothing had happened, and rushed after the fox. Or rather, on two legs, yes, but on which ones first, on the right or on the left, now it's hard to say for sure. He chased the fox up the saddle, then around Scott Knob to Cedar Ridge and back to Rock Camp. When he flew past Larkin, the other dogs were already a mile behind him. He grabbed the fox on the eastern slope of Camp Rocks, and he and Larkin sat down to rest and wait for the hunters with dogs. They had to wait a long time, because the rest of the dogs ran with their tongues hanging out, tongue to the ground, that's how, and they stumbled over them all the time, and every now and then lay down to rest. The hunters, too, were completely out of breath and could hardly breathe when they saw Larkin and kliver sitting next to each other, and a dead fox on the ground. But when they took a closer look at the kliver, their eyes popped out of their heads, and they burst into loud laughter. "Well, what is the name of this breed of dog?" one of them asked Larkin. "If I had such a dog, I would give it to the circus, not otherwise." "It's a fox hunter," Larkin said proudly. "Champion of the fox terrier. Special look." The hunters had no choice but to admit that Larkin's champion was indeed the fastest dog in the world, but they still couldn't figure out why. "Oh, very simple," Larkin undertook to explain to them. "When he gets tired of running on his right legs, he quickly turns over and runs on his left. What do you say to that?" The hunters had to pay for the lost bet. They tried to buy Larkin's kliver for their pack, but Larkin said, "You can't buy that special kind of fox terrier even for 1,000,000 gold bars. Because this is the only copy in this entire area, or even in the entire state, no, what is there, in all of America." The kliver lived happily to a very advanced age. After this hunt, he happened to run more than once, first on one paws, then on others, but now it's hard to say which one first, on the right or on the left.